It's time for the Donut Critic, and I know what you've got there, and I'm not there to enjoy it.
Well, it's delicious.
Bill is the biggest fritter fan I know, and you've brought fritters today, Ben.
Yeah, and I didn't bring just any fritter. I brought giant fritters. I mean, I brought the biggest ones in the state, probably the ones that I've ever seen. Yeah,
Show them on camera because this is not, one person should not eat that.
Oh.
That's a family project.
No, those are good for you. Those are.
Look at my head, and then it next to my head.
Yeah.
It's bigger than my head.
I would accidentally eat your head.
I call those family fritters for sure. They're huge.
Where are they from?
So they are from Camas, Utah. I descended from the mountains to bring those to you. I was up there all weekend. It's from a place called Mirror Lake Station. But many people don't know Mirror Lake Station as the name. They know it as the Camas Chevron.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I've been there.
yeah, it's a gas station. So obviously you get your gas and groceries and drinks and whatnot before you go up the mountains. But they have an amazing bakery in back. And they've been doing it for over 40 years.
Wow.
So the secret's out. I mean, when I was growing up in the Camas Valley, it felt like the secret hadn't got out, and we were the ones just enjoying this really good bakery in a gas station. And now everyone talks about it.
Now you're seeing people drive up there just for the fritter.
Oh, yeah. I get recommendations or people saying, thank you for that recommendation because we drove up just on our day off, and it was amazing, but they sell out fast. So it's not something you can just like willy-nilly think, oh, 2 p.m. go up there.
Ben, what makes a fritter? What makes a fritter? And I know they're usually apple fritters, but I've seen and had, I think, cherry fritters as well.
Yeah.
But
So
what makes a fritter?
So obviously it's just that the crevices and the nooks where this dough has been chopped up and just like mashed together. And it's all that goodness, and they mix in the flavors. Like you said, there are cherry, there are apple. She actually does raspberry, blueberry, and apple up at the Mirror Lake Station.
I'm having
Raspberry.
a blueberry one right now. It's
I'd
really
love
good.
to try the raspberry.
Well, that's this one right here. Sorry, like that we have been showcasing. I'll leave it for you to eat.
That's terrific. I'll take it home.
But yeah, the thing that's so good is just those nooks and crannies have like the marbling of the flavor. They have all of the icing in there. And then on the outside, it's so crispy. Because, you know, in order to cook through these big, massive things, it has to get really crispy on the outside, and then it's really soft and flavorful on the inside.
Doughy on the inside.
Yep.
Almost raw on the inside. Not quite. Just barely done.
Just enough, yeah.
Oh.
So the Chevron's specialty is fritters,
But they do
other stuff too.
What else?
Yeah, so I grew up with it mainly being the glazed donut and a maple bar. Those were my favorite growing up. And then my parents one time bought me one of these fritters, and I was like, oh, what have I been doing, wasting my time over here? I mean, obviously their donuts are good all around, but these fritters are just top-notch. And this is what they're known for. They've won awards for these. Governor Cox came in, a couple of years ago when he was doing his campaign and, make sure to try them and showcase them. So.
And then you were mentioning some other good places to eat if you're going to Camas.
Yeah, so if you're going up to Camas, it's the gateway of the Uintas. I lived there, but it was always such a good place to eat because there was Summit Inn Pizza. I know there are a few other locations throughout the valley, like Lehigh, up in Bear Lake, but they have these cheese doodles that are basically like cinnamon rolls with garlic and cheese, and then you dip them in the sauce. They are so good.
That sounds great.
And then High Mountain Drug, they've won a lot of awards for their burgers and shakes, and that one's an awesome one. It's like an old pharmacy up there, and you just get a really small town feel when you go in.
So now explain this over the fire trend that is happening right now.
Yeah, so I bet about a month ago, Krispy Kreme, somebody had posted Krispy Kreme over the fire. I've been doing this for years. I'm just saying.
They stole it from you.
Yeah, they stole it from me. But yeah, you just skewer the donut, especially these fritters, and you just lightly put it over the fire so it slowly cooks. And what it does is it crystallizes the sugar on the outside, and then it warms up the dough on the inside. And it is so good.
So you could get one of these fritters from the Chevron up there and then just go camping.
Yeah, a lot of people actually do that. I don't know anybody that can just down an entire fritter like that. And so you eat as much as you can fresh, and then you skewer it once you're at the campfire, like a day or two later, and it's revives the donut, and it's so good.
You could use it for your pillow in your sleeping bag.
It's true. These are big enough for a pillow.
Yeah.
Now,
Oh, man.
we were talking with Ben off the air, and I think we should mention this on the air. Ben said, do you guys have any places you want me to check out? I would open it up to friends of the
Yes.
program. If you have a local, doesn't have to be a bakery, even you do restaurant stuff
Yep.
too.
Sandwiches.
And stuff. If there's we prefer local places to chains.
For sure.
Something in your neighborhood, your town, your area that you're like, oh, you got to focus on this. Email us, radiofromhell@x96.com, and put like Donut Critic or something in the subject line.
I would really love it to be something that I haven't tried before too. Like that would be a fun on air because I have my list of what we want to bring on, and I still have things that I'm going to have you try. But yeah, I want a list.
Well, I had this chopped cheese sandwich at what's it called now? The Silverside Deli.
Silverside Deli, yeah.
Silverside Deli. It's over, I think, in 9th and 9th area. And it's that chopped cheese sandwich was fantastic.
It was really good.
Okay, I'm going to put it on my list because I have a few other sandwiches. There's a place in Riverton. It's called Murphy's, and it's just a Philly cheesesteak place. And the way they chop and do their meat there, I've heard is amazing. So we'll see. But yeah, I'll go try the chopped cheese.
Yeah.
But if you have
it's great.
suggestions, email us, and we'll pass them on to Ben, and he'll go check them out.
Other donuts up in that area.
So
Mirror Lake, it says here. Maple bars.
yeah, so the maple bars up there were amazing. And honestly, like when I was growing up, we had the Dunford chocolate, which are pretty legit.
It's still
Sure.
one of my favorite donuts.
Yeah,
you know.
and so what, I had that or the Mirror Lake Station or the Camas Chevron, and it was a great donut place to grow up.
The Camas Chevron. I gotta go.
Well, actually, when I was 16, I worked for the other gas station,
Competing gas.
and I would sneak over and
You'd
I'd get the
sneak
donuts.
over.
Yeah, because like we had the fried foods, we had like fried burritos and some other really good fried chicken, but it was always about those donuts. And I'd have to like kind of hide like my shirt just to make sure that they didn't know that I was like cheating on them over there.
Here's a texter who says, yeah, I drive up there just for the fritters.
Yeah, it's
And somebody else says we called those cow pie fritters, which I can
Yes,
kind of
they're
they're like
huge.
the size of a cow pie.
like a big cow plop.
Yep. And now people are sending in their...
No, don't text it.
No,
Email
don't
us
text
so we
it.
can pass it on to Ben. RadioFromHell@x96.com.
Because if we email it, we have a file. We can just send it right over
Yeah,
to
your
them.
text will disappear. So.
Yeah, the texts do that.
No,
Yeah,
honestly, like this is just a fun thing to do, and this is what we do when we travel. We always try to pick a place that is the destination place that we can take up and eat while sitting around a campfire or just enjoying each other. And this is the place to do it if you're going to the Uintas.
All right, so the Camas Valley Chevron. What's the fancy name? What is it?
Mirror Lake Station.
Mirror Lake Station.
It's a gas station.
It's the Camas Chevron.
Yep.
Is what it is.
Okay.
Thank you, Ben.
Thank you.
Your Instagram and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, so you can reach me at Donut Critic, and again, you can pass on those recommendations, and I'll start those new lists, and we'll get some new food in here.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And I'll take that raspberry.